Why hello and welcome back to another Lord of the Rings RiseToWar Legacy video. And today, my friends, I would like to talk about a little bit of the end of what happened in our previous season, okay? So, on a positive note, here is what we achieved with our Rohan. We got Renowned Creator, so we were able to get basically the second place reward, thanks to a couple of the other factions also being honorable. We appreciate that. A lot more stuff happened, okay? A lot more stuff happened. I would have liked to actually give you a video at the end of the season, but I didn't actually realize it was closing, and I was super busy for that last 2 days before the season closed. So pretty much to give you a sum up of what happened. The good news is we can see the mini map here. It just isn't the mini map that has what was happening right in our faction. This is the weird little cottage bag end thing, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure. But anyway, as you remember, we were here as Rohan. We had a couple regions here, and we basically had most of these, our capital and all of these regions down here with Dol Amroth and stuff, right? I must say, I have to thank everybody. Team Fire, you guys were amazing. You did a fantastic job. We really got pounded on this season. I felt like we were constantly outnumbered, which we were. But that's okay. That happens, right? It's a war game. But I must say, very honorable, the Varangs, which were our faction alliance for a while. Unfortunately, something that happened was we broke apart to do something temporarily, and we were going to reforge, and we forgot to, apparently on both sides, or I think the Varangs or somebody, I don't know. I'm not going to put blame on anyone, because somebody forgot to rejoin before the timer where you can't join as a faction anymore. So it was kind of like, oh no. But so we were still allianced as in friends, but we were our own by ourselves faction in a glory campaign, which we're supposed to be too. But basically what happened is we started a PvP zone. Isengard was super honorable. They were super nice. I really thought they were awesome opponents. We had so much fun fighting at the beginning of this season, even though we did really start right at the beginning for both of us. Linden kind of went around. They were good too. They went and started fighting Isengard. And again, in the end, everybody was great. All right. There was a couple things that happened that were kind of stressful for us. People not responding to things and seeming like certain of their players were coming after us. That happened with a couple times with a couple factions, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, it happened with really Isengard, Angmar, everybody, Gondor. Everyone had like one or two rogues that just kind of go and do their own thing, a player, which is not their fault. And again, we could handle one or two. But then there was a moment where one of their leaders from Angmar was gone, but they were our previous friends and allies from the previous season, which, by the way, they were still. We had a very good conversations. They helped and told people, hey, we're going to do the PvP zone. Like, everyone's got everything we need with rewards. We don't need to be trying to take one little keep from Rohan just so they don't get rewards, because there's no point in that. So their leaders were really awesome about it. So was Mordor's leaders, by the way. And they pulled them back, even though it was a little stressful for us for about 4 days, because we were trying to fight people off and they were just wiping us out because we were so outnumbered. It was just hard because we had a lot of people who were kind of tired or end of the season thought, oh, okay, no one's going to attack us now because we've all made these deals. And then that happened. And then Angmar had to reiterate to their players, like, don't do that. Please stop. And then they did after a few days. But that was a little hard for a little bit there. But again, as our friends, I still good on Latam, right? The Fellowship, they were awesome. So many. I can't name them all right now. I should have done this when I had the map, right, with everybody out. But it was excellent. Everyone was very honorable. All teams were. It was a super fun season. It was just a really fun season not have any jerks in it, right? That's really what it comes down to. There was a couple times and couple things that happened, but really overall, everyone was wonderful. All the main leaders were really good. I'm not sure what happened up in the north. Mordor just kind of took all of Arun. I don't think they had to do that to get points. Maybe they did to get 4th place or something with the capture lands, but I'm not sure. Again, a lot of people might have wondered, like, why did we take all of Gondor's lands? If you remember from my previous episodes what I was talking about. Well, what originally happened was we were struggling with our 2 little lands down here, and we had like 4 lands up here, right? We had these 4 right here. Like this one, and this one. And then we had these 2 down here. And we were having battles up here with when we were allianced with the Varangs. And we were having fun battles around the ring. And Isengard was starting to attack us on the one side because they just wanted to fight, right? Again, this is not an attack on anybody. It's a war game, right? So we're having a lot of battles. This is from our perspective, just so everyone knows. it was starting to feel a little bit overwhelming because we had Isengard Linden attacking us on one side, we had Mordor and Angmar attacking us on the other side. The Varangs were probably the most powerful faction at the beginning of the season, for sure. But it was feeling very... basically, it was a 4-faction alliance. This is what happened. Angmar, Mordor, and Linden and Isengard all allianced about halfway through the season, and they stayed allianced the entire rest of the season. They never they did have one big fight. I'll take that back. They had one big fight for the ring, so I think it was more like a let's alliance to keep back the Varangs and Rohan and the other couple factions, and then we'll have one big fight for the ring, and whoever wins gets it, kind of thing. So it was a little rough being 4v2'd pretty much, and then Gondor was in the game and helping a little, and there was a couple dwarves in Arab War, but it was just a couple people playing, and Rune was a decent size. So Rune and Gondor were about the same size, and Arnor was given back their capital. They were probably one of the biggest past the top 6 factions, but they really weren't doing anything at the end of the season. They kind of just held on to their capital on a couple lands. I think it was more like, don't interfere, so we'll let you keep your stuff kind of thing, which is totally fine. It's a war game, and I think that's totally what they should do to keep their stuff, right? To keep their little rewards, that we get with the second place stuff. I definitely like how they do the reward system in the Glory thing now, where really you can have a couple main factions. We had end up having like 6 factions, 7 factions, all get top rewards. And by the way, us as Rohan, so what happened again with Gondor was a very respectful group. We really, I did, at least the one when I talked to their main leader and stuff. He even made a compliment that he liked my videos, which I appreciate greatly. So we were having a lot of fun with them, and we were going to start PvP with them, but then they said that they were going to come out of Peligre, and they were going to attack our 2 keeps down here, which was our only farmlands at that point. You remember at the very beginning of the season, what happened was we had to run from here because we just got overwhelmed, because basically Linden and Isengard won. We had some awesome battles. We took their place. We came back and they took Edoras, and then our Varangs came over, and then it was 2v2, and we took Edoras back, and we basically then stalled out, at the Crossum Helm's Deep in Isengard, but we didn't have anywhere to farm Rohan because we only had like a tiny bit of farmlands here, right, for all of our people. So we moved down here where no one was, and we took these 2, right, and then we moved back up here to the north once we had our tiles farmed up, and we started battling again. And by the way, mind you, Gondor had been neutral the whole season, so we were friendly with Gondor. They never attacked us, so we never attacked them. We never took their stuff or anything like that. So then we were battling up here, and what happened was Gondor did warn us, but then they said, well, we're going to attack down here, right, and take your stuff. And we were like, that's our farmlands. You please don't do that, right? That's basically what we were asking. I even talked to a couple of them, and a couple of leaders were like, yeah, we know. But their one main leader said, we really are bored. We just want to fight. We don't care what happens. We understand if you come in to take our lands. And we're like, okay, you really understand that. We are going to have to come down. Of course, that did hurt us in the north because we had to all leave. So then the Varangs were kind of on their own with only some of our players up there because we had to defend our farmlands, or we were going to be useless again, right? That's how this game works. You have to have some tiles, or you become rather useless if you can't produce any troops or upgrade anything at that point. So they attacked us. They came in. They actually took South. I forget if they took South Athelion or they got close. But then we all came down, and basically we had awesome battles with them. Kudos to them. It was really good battles. But we did wipe in, and we took Peligre, and we took Dol Amroth, and then we went up. We took here and here, right? And then this was Isengard's, and we had a kind of truce with Isengard at that point. So we said we won't fight. We'll just let you keep that. Because they were fighting up here with, at that time, now that I'm thinking about it, I believe Isengard and Linden were fighting Angmar for a while before they made the truce. At this point, this is way back in the season. Or they were fighting the Varangs, or they were fighting Rune, I forget. Or, you know what, they might have been fighting Arnor, now that I think about it. It's a little bit blurred now. But anyway, this is the main story. So then, from a tactics point of view, so we basically took everything except for their capital, right? We didn't take that. And we also didn't take Osgiliath. Though then Angmar and Mordor came down, they took Osgiliath. But basically what we did was we were like, okay, well, we won't take your capital, so you still get rewards for your capital, but we're going to keep this land because we want to be able to get rewards for second place now that we've been forced to come down here and lose everything we had up in the north. Because we had a couple locations up here. We had like 1, 2, 3, 4, like as Rohan, but we lost them all because we had to leave. So basically we did that. We turtled up. Then a lot of stuff happened. Of course, political stuff happened too. But again, most people were really honorable on all sides. But then some people were trying to make us out to be the bad guys. Like, you guys wiped out Gondor. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We are the ones that got ganged up. And we're fighting for our lives. We were being as honorable as possible. So that's what happened. Those are the facts. But again, Gondor, we talked to them. We're like, you guys, you know, like, we had this happen. And they're like, we just wanted to fight. We know we know you'd probably beat us and take a lot of our land, but we just wanted to fight because we were bored. And we were like, okay, that we respect that, right? That was a lot of their leaders. One or two people were trying to make it out that we were bad guys and we took all their stuff when they were defenseless. They weren't. They were actually backstabbing us when we had a treaty not to do that. But they did warn us. They did say we're breaking the treaty. It wasn't like they did it overnight. They told us a day or two. They're like, we're attacking you. And we're like, why? You know, that kind of thing. Again, that's how the game goes, right? It's just a war game. So unfortunately, we had to do that and we took all that. And then a couple of Angwar's players were acting like we were the bad guys because of that. But of course, Angwar's leaders knew, and our friends knew that we're our previous people from the kingdom, that other fellowship. They knew that us and Fire wouldn't do that. So they kind of knew the full story. But again, some people probably felt like that in Gondor, and I completely understand. But that was the decisions of your leaders, that they wanted to fight, and they knew if they lost stuff, they lost stuff. So, but you know what? It turned it out into a really fun season. So Gondor still got their reward for having a capital, which is the 3rd place symbol reward, I believe. And we got the 2nd place one. I think the Varangs got a 2nd place reward, and so did Linden and Isengard got those, and then Angmar and Mordor got the 1st place reward because they had the ring. And then yeah, that was about it. I think also Arnor got the 2nd place reward, and then I'm not sure. I think that possibly Mordor took Erebor's capital. I'm not quite sure why they did that. Because, like, I don't know why they wouldn't just let the dwarves keep it so they get their reward for having capital like we did with Gondor. But that's up to their leaders, so I'm not sure about that one. Maybe someone could give a comment if you know on that. So again, yeah, that's about it. And that's pretty much a real, very quick overview of what happened at the end of the season to finish up. So it was pretty fun. And I will see you guys all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. So hopefully that was a nice little addition to finish up what happened in the end of technically season 8 for me, but they don't do seasons anymore. But it was nice to get that little reward there at the end, and it was good on our team. We held out so much, and we appreciate that everyone ended up being very honorable at the end to kind of be like, okay, let's not gang up and 4-man Rohan by themselves with no other faction just so they don't get rewards for no reason. So I appreciate it that no one did that, and that's really how it should be. We've done that in the past when we were huge and destroying everyone. We made sure to let certain people have certain things because we're like, there's no point for us to take it, because at a certain point with rewards, if you have all the max things to have the rewards, to go and take other people's lands and just make them not get the lower level rewards, what's the point? There is no point. The purely point would be to be mean to them, right? To just remove their rewards, so you're the only one that gets them. And I just don't see the point in that. I think the point is fight for the highest reward as you can. Once you have it and you know it's secure, then if you're the big fellowship or the big faction, just be nice and let the smaller one that fought you honorably keep at least a 2nd or 3rd reward, you know, whatever the title is, and the extra points you get little points you can spend. So, and it kind of helps you for the next season. So anyway, I'll see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. Thank you for listening. Baruch Kazad, Kuzad menu. You're welcome to leave your comments and stuff and everything. Please keep them all nice. I don't know why they wouldn't be. I said everything super nice and said everyone was honorable. So, but yeah, that's basically what happened in the season. Real quick. Of course, there's a lot more complexity in there that could have been talked about for 2 hours, but you don't want to sit here for 2 hours, so. See you guys. Have a great day, Miller. Subscribe button's there. Thanks, Skumley, for being a Royal Guard and supporting the channel. Next episode will be up there for this playlist. I have another one over there if you want to check it out. And I'll see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. And stay happy, my friends. I'm excited for the next season. I'm going to be playing Evil. Oh my gosh, it's the first season I'm going to be playing Evil Side. We'll see how that goes. Gimli's going to be leading orcs. Baruch Kazad Kuzad, I menu.